Again, I haven't got a chance to go see the game. But obviously, you get down early is it's tough on your club, and to be down 5 after it was a couple innings, puts you in a bind, and you got to obviously you're trying to scratch back in it. We really didn't do a lot of that. JT gets us on the board, and we start kind of trying to get back in it. Bullpen did a nice job. Just obviously you don't want to get down like that in a game.
In your opinion, just why do you think the Braves have really given you trouble this year?
I don't even know what is our record. I don't even know what our. Yeah, well, early on it seemed like we had a number of games that we had a good shot at winning, and it kind of started with the first one, if I remember right, a game that they had been struggling. Maybe they hadn't won a game yet at that point, and we had, I think it got up 2 or 3-0, but we could have been up 6 or 7-0, and we left some guys out there and let them hang around. And it seemed like that's been kind of the theme early on. The early losses were we'd get 1 or 2, get a little lead, and just let them hang around and not add on, and they'd come back and get us late. And that happened, if I remember right, and had to go back, it'd be a number of times. And then I felt like it's kind of settled in from there. We beat them with 2 out of 3, I think, at their place. I'm not sure what's kind of gone on since early on, because I think early on maybe it was first couple series we might have got swept. And from there, it seems like it's been back and forth a little bit. But
that team can do damage to these teams like you guys have had trying to get there. What are some of the traps for contenders when you're playing like this?
You can be beat by anybody in this league, and if you look at their club since they picked up Matt, they've kind of settled in, after that, and that really changes their order. If you got to get through, Inciarte's been a guy up top. They inserted Swanson in the lineup. He didn't play tonight, but they kind of left right. Garcia's a good hitter. You get into Freddie. Freddie can hit. Matt's dangerous. Then you got to get into Marquez because they got a good club. Offensively, you look at their club, and they're going to be a club that's going to be, a good club if they get the pitching that they want to try to do. Just like everybody talks about, they're going to be a dangerous club. So this is not some team that is not beating anybody. They just sweep the Mets. They got a club that's on the move and moving in the right direction, it looks like.
Against Coleman tonight, is that another case of a soft-tossing veteran handling a young lineup? Like you talked about?
It looks a lot of the same, and I think, again, this is the same game. Well, in Hosey through that game, too, we're down 5-0 in the first, maybe in that one, and you get a guy that's a lot of change-ups, a lot of off-speed, and that those guys, you have to be patient, and you force them into the strike zone and take your hits, not try to get big. And again, I think it has been the kind of guy that's given us trouble this year, and I've said it probably too many times for everybody to hear it, but it is an area that I think we have to grow, as far as how do we handle guys like that, because there's been a number of times that we haven't really did a whole lot with those kind of guys.
Is Stanton okay? I mean, you seem to, on that throw-in on the hit, and I know you're getting him out of the game to play anyway, but...
Nobody said anything to me. So if something happened, then I'm sure I'll hear later or tomorrow.
And JT, like you said, he could run in a ball from time to time, and he's held up pretty well, and really well this year. How is these final games for a catcher in a long season? How's he?
He's doing great.
Yeah.
He's fine. He's also 20-something. So, and they seem to do better. But no, JT is, he's a physical kid. He's a really good athlete, and solid part of our core, I think, moving forward. A guy that you can count on. It plays the game right, has the right mentality. A guy that you really feel like, hey, I'm not afraid to put my stamp, or not my stamp, but my name. I'll say I'll keep this guy all day long, and I'll go to battle with him. And he's one of those guys that we have, and that's part of what we're doing right now is figuring out who's who and what's what.